What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Check this out, man. If you want to learn how to do a YouTube channel, the easiest way to learn is to stop guessing. Don't guess, man. Get clarity. Hey, how I got 15,000 subscribers in 1 week. Wow. Grow a YouTube channel fast. We're gonna do this right here. I'd love to see this because we want subscribers on this channel. I'm Uncle Mike, and I got a channel with over 500,000 subscribers, 505,000 subscribers now. So if you're interested in growing your channel, the growth formula is going to show you right after this intro. Let's check it out.
Growth's got a formula most never learn. You don't need luck or talent, structure is earned. If you're ready to build and you know it's your turn, start with the 4 free videos, earn as you learn. Click on the more below to sign up.
That's right, man. Check our links below. Sign up for our 4 free videos that's going to show you from the beginning to the end of why you should do a YouTube channel, and why you should get yourself a coach and all that good stuff. So y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, how to get out of small channel hell forever. We're going to do a 2-in-1, y'all. We're going to do a 2-in-1. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and let's check this bad boy out.
I've actually been monetized 2 times. The very first time, it took me 3 months of showing up, being consistent, and going live almost every other day in order to grow the watch hours. I took some time off. I came back 2 years later, and my channel was basically done. I was no longer monetized. I wanted to be intentional, but I did not want to spend another 3 months trying to grind and grow my channel. So I went back to the system that I actually created the first time around, which is the 3 T's to YouTube success.
3
Your
T's.
Topic, your title, and your thumbnail. And the result of that, within 1 week, my channel had grew to monetization status. 1 video brought in over 8,000 new subscribers, over 100,000 views, 3 brand deals, and thousands of dollars in digital product sales and full-time clients. I then tested out what I'm about to teach you guys today out on another client, and one client went from getting around 100 views on average before she did the 3 T's and ended up getting a video with over 500,000 views. Another client started with 60 subscribers and ended up with over 22,000 subscribers within 4 months. So today I'm going to break down the 3 T's for you and help you do the same thing. Let's get into T number 1, which is...
This is good for beginners also. But in beginners, you got to keep posting. You got to keep posting because that algorithm got to start liking you. But this is important because this is what I am actually teaching the students. This is like 3rd gear. 1st gear, stop guessing. 2nd gear, get clarity. And then the 3rd gear is matching what you're saying on the microphone or in your video, matching what you're saying to your title, because the words that's coming out your mouth is better than the keywords and the hashtags. What you're saying makes a transcript, and that transcript has the keywords in it, what you're saying. Here we go.
Is your topic. This is like what your video is actually going to be about, because we don't just throw random things on this platform if we want to perform well. You want to treat YouTube like a search engine. This means that people are coming on here looking up certain things, or they are more prone to watch certain topics. And so you want to make sure that the content you're putting out aligns with that. The best way to start with your content is to start with keywords, meaning we can go to youtube.com right now and we can start typing in some of our interest, whatever you may want to talk about, whether it's cooking, hair, business, YouTube growth, whatever. When I'm thinking of what topic I should talk about next, I want to make sure that it aligns with what's currently doing well. And my criteria to know what's currently doing well is I need to see at least 3 to 4 videos on that similar topic within the past year that has over 100,000 views. Because if other people are watching this content, then surely they're going to also watch my content. One thing I'm never doing is I'm never clicking to watch the video ever, because I have no interest in what they're talking about. I'm only going to be bringing my own experiences to this platform.
Okay.
And this is one of the ways to make sure that I'm staying original. I'm only looking at their content to see how to shape what I want to talk about. Here, before I start making the video, I don't just copy what they're doing. I ask myself, okay, now what will my take be on this? What is my unique perspective on this topic? This step alone has helped my clients go from invisible to viral because they finally tuned into what their audience actually cares about. I had a client before who she knew her overall topic was health and wellness, but she didn't know what area of health and wellness her customer was searching for right now on YouTube. So as she did this search, she found a key area that her clientele was interested in, they had questions about, and she mapped her next 4 or 5 videos on that topic, and that blew her channel up because she finally got focused on the specific area her audience cared about. But once you know the topic, we want to make sure that people actually can find and then they actually watch your video.
That's interesting. That's like catching a wave. And when you first start your channel and one of your videos got a lot of, we already did that. A lot of, we did a TikTok video. And it's like, whoa, that joint brought in a lot of subscribers and a whole lot of views. So we did another one. Whoa, that TikTok video brought in a whole lot of subscribers and a whole lot of views. Whoa, I did another one. Then we just left it alone because we're trying to gear the channel toward, not TikTok, helping people build a YouTube channel. So we're still trying to find our niche. I call it catching a wave. So if everybody want to know how to do thumbnails, boom, everybody going to be start doing thumbnail videos because that's what everybody's searching for. You see what I'm saying? Or if everybody want to talk about titles, I think the number one thing people want to do is they want to grow that subscriber count. That's why we're on this channel, this video right here. Here we go.
And so the next 2 T's are extremely important. So the second T is your title. In order to get views on your videos, you first need impressions. So when I'm scrolling on YouTube and my eyes, before I click on anything, and my eyes see this video, that video, whatever, they're all showing up on my computer screen. All of these videos are now getting impressions, but then I have to actually click the video in order to view it. You can't get views unless you get impressions. So nobody can click on your video if YouTube is not pushing your video out to people.
Impressions.
So then how do you get more impressions? You usually get more impressions based on the keywords that you use in your title, because whatever people are typing in, if you have keywords that align with that, when they're typing it in, your video will pop up. Or let's say somebody watched cat videos and they watched orange cat videos, and if you have the words orange cat in your title, even if they're not searching for orange cat videos anymore, if they watched 10 other cat videos, then YouTube will push your video to them if you have a similar keyword. So here's a quick 2-step formula I use in order to get really great titles. Number 1, find 3 videos on the exact same topic that's already doing well. It's posted less than a year ago and has over 100,000 views. So I find these 3 videos, and as I'm looking at these 3 videos, I always ask myself, are there any words in their titles that they have in common? Whatever words they have in common in their title, this is obviously going to be some of the keywords that's pushing them out to get those views. So whatever keywords they have in common, I take those keywords, and my title must include those same keywords. I mean, I literally put them in a Google Doc and I'm just looking at them one by one. What do they have in common? And whatever I see in common, I keep a running list of keywords at the bottom of my Google Doc. And then I say, okay, the second part of that formula is, what is my unique twist? I may have a lot of things in common, but then how does my video stand out? Maybe in my video, I'm going to talk about a specific thing that they didn't. And so now when I make my title, I'm going to make sure that I include those keywords that they all have in common, but I'm also going to add in my unique twist. So now when I do a title like this, I'm not only getting ranked and found because of keywords, now I'm also adding some curiosity to it, because now they want to see how I did this different. But the T that brings it all together, T number 3, is your thumbnail. So the honest truth is, if your thumbnail is not intentional or crafted well, you can still lose views. When people actually click on the video, this is now going to affect your click-through rate. What percent of people actually click to watch your video? And that click-through rate is important. Everybody will tell you, y'all probably have heard it before, you want to get at least a 5% or higher. That's always my benchmark. And if you have a really low click-through rate, eventually YouTube will stop pushing out your video. If you post your content and you realize your click-through rate is really bad, then you want to focus on switching up your thumbnail. Let's talk about how to make a really good thumbnail. It should do 3 things. Number 1, you need to have some great contrast and clarity. Like the lighting, the colors, all of that really matters. My last 2 thumbnails did really well. I'm going to put them here. And let me show you let me take this one down and put this one up. Do y'all see the difference between these? So the things that did well between...
No. For beginners, man, I think some of these people move a little too fast because they do on YouTube.
You need to have some great contrast and clarity. Like the lighting, the colors, all of that really matters.
You got to stand out.
My last 2 thumbnails did really well. I'm going to put them here. And
they both look dark, but the writing is big and clear right there. I like that. I like the writing on it. It has the YouTube play button on it, so it's about YouTube. Then the other one, Holy Bible, God's strategy revealed. Okay.
And let me show you let me take this one down and put this one up.
Now, okay, it's a little different, so...
Y'all see the difference between these? So the things that did well between my last 2 thumbnails is I made the background really dark and then I made the words really light. So that way when people are scrolling, it pops up at them. They can see it really clearly. They don't have to wonder, what is this saying? They can already read it really clearly. So that is extremely important. And that affects how many views you get. Like who's going to actually click through to watch this video. But once you have great contrast and clarity and people can read the words on the thumbnail, then you want to make sure that your thumbnail is building curiosity. Your thumbnail should make people wonder what you're talking about. It should ask them a question. It should make them wonder, what is he or she going to say? And so you never want to repeat your title in your thumbnail because you're not giving them anything to be curious about.
Don't post until you turn this off.
And then lastly, you want to have some type of emotional draw in your thumbnail. The thumbnails that perform the best for me is when I'm looking like this. People are wondering like, okay, what's going on? What's wrong with her? What's going on in the video? And so when I make these different faces in my thumbnail, as silly as they might be, they do really well for bringing in views. I can be honest and say I spend about 20 to 30 minutes actually filming a video, and I'm spending 30 minutes plus coming up with a title and thumbnail, sometimes even more. Any thumbnail, I'm on YouTube all the time just watching different stuff, and whenever a thumbnail catches my attention, I always screenshot it because I want to make sure that I'm also catching people's attention. And so I want to use some of those elements that worked for them in my thumbnail. Now the bonus T number 4, that if you watch this far, this is important for y'all to know, because it's one thing to get views, it's another thing to build subscribers and a community. The best way to build subscriber count and community, which is going to be key to getting sales, which is like the next part of this, you want to have a common channel theme. This is the same thing as your niche. You want to make it so that people know that they can come back to your channel again and again to learn about a topic. So a good example of this is my last video that I posted has, at this point, I think over 40,000 views. And at first it wasn't getting that many subscribers because people were watching the video, getting what they came for, and they left. But then I left a comment there just because I like to leave comments and talk to people when they watch my content. So I left a comment saying like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna make another video, which is this video, another video helping beginners to increase their reach and their views if this didn't help. As soon as I posted that comment, I started getting a lot more subscribers from that video because people now know they can come back to my channel to learn more about a topic. When you tell people what to expect next, or if you have a common theme for your channel, you'll see that you'll start to get more subscribers and community members, not just views. So with these 4 T's, the 3 and then the bonus one, you're going to be able to start turning your ideas into great, successful content. Then the next step of all of this is turning your content into income. And so if you're someone who you want to turn your channel into a business, that's exactly what I teach inside of YouTube for Business. This is like my favorite thing that I've ever taught. I've been teaching it for some years now, and it's for new and growing creators who want to build a channel with purpose, create products and services that actually sell consistently, and you want to be able to use your content to do the work for you. So if you're someone who you're like, okay, let's do this. I'm tired of just throwing things to the wall and seeing what works. I want to actually build my channel, but also grow an audience and build my income. Check out the link.
Very good information. That was very good. From a scale of 1 to 10, she gets a 10. She gets a 10 on that one. All right, I wanted to see what my man had to say. He used all these cue cards and different things like that. Give him a thumbs up. I'll give everybody a thumbs up and shout their channel out. Nate, let's roll. Let's roll, Nate.
Channel game on YouTube. Okay. There are 2 places that we could be. We can either be hidden and struggling forever and ever and ever, or we can be visible and do specific things to get out of that hidden place forever. You see, as I've been recently working with hundreds of YouTube creators, one-on-one, having access to the analytics of the channel itself, a few things have started to become very clear to me. Number 1 is that small channels have different rules. They don't perform the same as larger channels. And in fact, I'm gonna give you some examples of how the rules are different for smaller channels. On this channel that you're watching right now, when I upload a 4K video, a high resolution video, which all of my videos are, it takes about 2 minutes for that video to process before it is essentially ready to publish right then. Now contrast that with a client's channel that is significantly smaller. When we upload a video to that channel, same thing, 4K resolution, similar length of video, it takes at least an hour to 2 hours to process. Another example, and this comes from multiple clients' channel. I have seen the behavior over and over again of publishing a video, having a spike, and then...
Hold up. He's sure enough publishing in 4K. Let's turn it on 4K, y'all. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see a difference. God, nobody publishes in 4K. All right.
Then a flat line, meaning that the algorithm decides to test that video and then stop giving impressions to that video for a period. And sometimes that pattern will repeat. You'll have a test period, a flat, and then another test period, and then another flat. And I could go on and on with how the rules are different for smaller channels. And in fact, I am going to give more examples throughout this video. The important thing here is we are not mongering. Is that the right word? We're not complaining here. Because as far as I can tell, with the examples I gave, the faster processing time on my channel versus a smaller channel, it makes sense that if a channel has more data to work with and more audience to prove their stuff with, then they'll give more allocation of resources to that channel versus a brand new or a smaller channel. It also does make sense, and this may be slightly controversial here, it makes sense that if there's a limited amount of impressions to give to all of the YouTube users on the YouTube platform, they would give slight priority to larger channels. If for no other reason, then again, the larger channels have more proven content. They have a backlog of videos that are showing that they're more successful with their audience. And so I'm seeing this impressions then flatline behavior being a testing period behavior, which I'll explain a bit more of that later on. So if smaller channels have different rules than larger channels because of the various reasons I've listed and many more that I couldn't fit into this video, what do we do about it? We make it so that your channel cannot be ignored. We make it so that your content is the best content that it can be. And we make it so that you as a creator of that content are no longer hiding. You're choosing to be radical. You're choosing to stand out and face fears and do things differently, which will lead to this. Visibility. All right, so how do we combat these different rules that small channels have? We do it with this: focused data. What we need to do here is give the algorithm, give the YouTube platform more data. And if you want a real human way to explain that, it's more videos. It's more content. No matter where you are with your small channel at this point, if you find ways to give more videos for the algorithm to test, it's almost always a positive thing. As long as those more videos are still quality videos, as quality as you're capable of. So I hear you. We're watching this and you're thinking, Nate, I want to give more videos. I want to do more of these things. I want to give more of this focused data to the algorithm, but I'm just booked up. I have thought long and hard on this, especially since it's something that I myself have struggled with. There is a book that I read read or more listened to recently that absolutely transformed how I looked at this. I'm going to put a link to the book in the pinned comment if you want to get it for absolutely free. But in that book, it describes the concept of dropping everything else, intentionally just dropping everything else that doesn't give you the focus that you want. And it gives really viable strategies for how to do that, how to allocate your time in order to do that well. So what I'm suggesting here is if you feel like you are in small channel heck, I do that for the algorithm, then you get really decisive in cutting off the things that are not contributing to publishing more quality videos. Because the more tests that we give the algorithm, the YouTube platform, the more likely it is that you will finally get the traction enough to have that proven backlog of content. It's going to work. And if that is your goal, to get out of this small channel heck forever, drop everything else and do this. All right, the next thing that keeps your small channel hidden is this. Boop the like button on this video. How did that get in here? Oh my goodness, how did that get in here? But really, if you're liking the presentation of this video and it's being eye-opening and helpful to you, I'd love if you boop the like button on it. Thank you for doing that. But really, here's the next thing. Every small channel faces this. Audiences literally act different around small channels than they do around large channels. And this has much less to do with the YouTube platform itself and much more to do with human psychology, which the YouTube algorithm tends to follow. You see, for small channels, audiences act, I put strange because that was the shortest way I could say of they act differently in a lot of different ways. Like, for example, the types of people that are willing to comment on a brand new channel on a video without many or any other comments are very different than the types of people who are willing to comment on a video with lots of comments. In fact, let me give an example. Have you ever been to a farmer's market where there's a lot of people selling stuff and they got their booths set up and they've got stuff all set out on the table and they've got their price tags and they're just kind of sitting there expectantly? Have you ever been to one of those? How do you, as a person meandering around this farmer's market, behave differently in front of a booth that has a bunch of people crowded around it versus a booth with no one in front of it? In fact, you can see the person sitting behind the table at the booth and they make eye contact with you a mile away and you make eye contact with them and you're still a mile away from them and you're walking up to it. How do you act differently? There's too much pressure. It's the same thing as when you go to the mall and you walk into a clothing store and there's like 5 employees and one of you. You feel like you're going to get ganged up on. It's not a direct parallel, but there are more parallels than you might think between those two scenarios, that I just explained and smaller audience behavior. So
I agree with that. I think I don't know, I should let him keep going, but another part of the behavior is especially when we first started all the channels, when you're little, everybody want to tell you what to do and what not to do. Or you should do this, or why are you talking about that? That ain't right. But once you got all them numbers, they kind of like, hey, how you doing, man? Thank you. You know, even on this channel, when we first started, it was like, I think you need to have X amount of subscribers before you start teaching anything. So that's when I started telling them, well, we got a channel that got over 500,000 subscribers. Boom. Here we go.
the audience that you get are the type of audience that are okay with being early adopters. They are okay with being the only person at this booth looking at your trinkets. They have the time of day to do so, meaning they are willing to take a bit more of a chance with you versus a larger channel that has proven that they know how to make quality videos that respect people's time more. So they're willing to take a chance, but also they're often very into a niche, further into a niche than the general or broader YouTube audience. Now, the algorithm does actually treat this differently as well. They give impressions somewhat differently for a small channel audience as well. How do I know this? Well, have you ever gone really into a niche? Like you've watched an extensive amount of videos on a certain specific topic or a certain niche. You've watched a whole bunch of them in a row on YouTube. Have you ever gone back to your home feed or the home screen on your mobile or desktop and seen small channels pop up, like videos with 15 views on them? My theory here is the more an audience member shows they're deeper into a niche, the more likely the algorithm is to show smaller channels videos to that niche, which is one of the arguments for the so-called niching down, because you're more likely to appear to that niche. Okay, so real talk here. How do we combat the audience acting differently? We do it with this. Your channel just is smaller, and that is a fact. So it's actually greatly to your advantage to acknowledge that and acknowledge that with your audience. When your audience comes to one of your videos and feels like, wow, this person is present, they're authentic, they're acknowledging where they are, and of course they're gonna do great things in the future, they really respect that. So you bringing them into your videos and expecting them to be there and enjoy the experience with you with your presence does huge things for you. And I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again here. When you start getting comments to the tune of, wow, why isn't this channel bigger? Or comments addressing you directly saying, thank you so much for making this video. This video deserves way more views than it has. When that starts happening, that is one of the indicators that you're doing this right. The next thing that keeps your small channel perpetually hidden unless you change it is this. Blind spots. I have a unique perspective here in that this is what I do, and I am interacting with creators like yourself along the whole spectrum from brand new to very, very successful every single day. Across the board, when I sit down with someone, this is going on at least in some degree. You see, we all have blind spots when we're trying to accomplish something. There are things that we're just not seeing or ideas that haven't been introduced to our mind or awareness yet. But this is exacerbated in smaller channels because we don't have as much data to work with. We don't have as much real-time feedback from the audience because our videos are more hidden. And that is a huge disadvantage unless you're able to intentionally get outside perspective. In fact, that is perhaps the number one thing that I see when I'm talking with creators like yourself. It's hard to know what to focus on or not. So how do we combat that? With this, what I am calling removing the box, or essentially getting yourself outside of yourself and your own creation bubble to see what's happening from a third-party perspective. Because answer me this, have you ever built a large YouTube channel before? If that's a no, then you're being able to see it before you've done it will be a huge advantage for you. It's one of the reasons why I do my roast videos here on this channel, aside from them being all about heck, fire, and darnation. And by the way, I don't have any issues with swearing. I just intentionally don't put them in my videos because it's just not my brand. But where was I? Oh yes, roasts. It's one of the reasons why I like to show as many real examples as I can, because it allows me to put you as a viewer outside the box and deconstruct what I am seeing as a third-party perspective. So what you need to combat these blind spots is to get outside the box, to remove the box and get outside perspective, outside thought patterns. I have a video in the works about this very thing. Collaborations and getting outside perspectives on what you are producing. I am going extensive with it using real examples and real processes that I have used with great success. So I am going to put that here when it's ready. In the meantime, let's focus on this one. Focused data. What are the next most important focuses we can do to give the algorithm as much of the correct data as possible? In order to do that, you'll watch. Every day, every night, gonna shine so bright. Yeah, I'm taking flight. Nothing can stop me, I'm moving up the chain.
People are cutting these videos off in the weirdest way, like just cut it while he's still talking. That way, like right now, when people get to this part of the video, they start leaving. Let me go to the next thing. I don't want to hear what he got to say. So one of the things you can try also is cutting your video at the end. Just cut. And another thing is I'm going to, and it's cut. So, but one of the things that he really talked about that I really liked the most was when he was saying, show up, niche, stay on that same niche. Your overall niche is growth formula. I'm teaching people how to grow their YouTube channel. That's why we pick these videos right here, because I've seen so many channels that's stuck at, like, I got a buddy of mine, he got 15,000 subscribers, and he had 15,000 subscribers for the last 3 years, and he's still posting, and his view count is real low. So what's up with that? Because I told him a long time ago, what you're doing to get your 15,000 subscribers, that ain't gonna work. That's not good. So anyway, keep posting. You gotta feed that algorithm the right thing, and then you start working on your title. Whatever you say, the first 20 words coming out your mouth should not be the exact title, but it should support that channel. Support that title. And then your thumbnail, I wouldn't worry too much about the thumbnail. Just keep posting, because the algorithm can't see a thumbnail. But just make the thumbnails as bright as you can, make them more capture and everything. And just like the lady said, make sure it leaves some type of, I want to click this to see what in the world just happened. Did you see? Y'all ain't gonna believe what happened. Then they'll click to see what happened. Something like that. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Shh. Peace out.